A late March trip to Vail usually starts with a specific mental image: quiet, untouched powder at 10,000 feet. But by 2 in the afternoon, that image collides with the reality of the base village, thousands of people converging on the exact same half-mile stretch of pavement. Spending a week here is a massive allocation of your personal resources. Between flights, premium lodging, lift access, and dining, you are committing serious capital and your limited vacation days to a single geographic footprint. That premium price tag exists because of the resort's legacy. For over 5 decades, this specific valley has cultivated a reputation as a global hub for both elite winter sports and high-end alpine culture. But if you book your trip between March 22nd and the 31st, you are dropping into the most heavily scheduled, resource-dense window of the entire winter. Every major event series converges on these exact 10 days. Having constant access to world-class dining, live music, and championship races sounds great on paper. In practice, having too many premium options running simultaneously creates intense anxiety about missing out. You feel pressured to be everywhere at once. It forces a brutal trade-off. You have to decide whether you are traveling to maximize your proximity to the spectacle or to maximize your actual skiable hours on the mountain. If you try to do both, the sheer logistics of navigating the crowds will burn you out by day 3. To actually enjoy this specific week, you have to pick a dedicated, exclusionary lane. The problem comes down to physical geography. The mountain is vast, but the village base where every single event happens is a narrow, bottlenecked corridor. We call this bottleneck the friction zone. It's the dates and locations where crowd density hits its absolute peak, drastically slowing down your ability to move from point A to point B. This calendar shows how friction builds. First, Alpine National Championships drop a massive influx onto the base, March 28th to 31st. Second, the lifestyle circuit adds John Summit and Taste of Vail. Finally, afternoons fill with après all day. The grid becomes a high congestion warning. Moving a family of 4, complete with heavy boots, skis, and layers, through these overlapping red zones takes easily 3 times longer than it does during a normal week in February. Resort brochures sell the idea that you can carve fresh tracks at 8 a.m., seamlessly transition into a massive afternoon street party, and still have energy for a VIP concert. The physical reality is heavy transit times, long lines, and severe fatigue. Surviving late March requires dropping that do-it-all myth entirely. Instead, you need to look at your specific priorities and adopt a strict scenario match strategy to protect the return on your investment. This matrix shows 3 distinct strategies for the week. Let's look at Lane 1, the elite spectator. Executing this strategy means you are anchoring yourself at the main base areas from March 28th to the 31st. You are building your entire schedule around the event start times. The payoff here is straightforward. You get front-row access to peak athletic performance, watching the fastest skiers in the country navigate a world-class course. The hidden cost of that access is exposure. By choosing to be exactly where the action is, you are intentionally placing yourself in the highest crowd densities of the entire season. While you are holding your spot at the finish line, you aren't riding the lifts. Your personal skiable hours drop significantly. Choosing Lane 1 turns an active vacation into a passive viewing trip. If watching the races is your priority, you have to make peace with leaving your own gear in the locker for most of the day. The matrix now shifts to our second profile, Lane 2, the premium reveler. This is the timeline built entirely around culture and nightlife. Your anchor events in this lane are the high-energy touchpoints, the John Summit concert on the 22nd and the marquee après all-day parties hitting their peak on the 28th. Securing exclusive access to these events requires a high financial premium. VIP tickets and prime reservations command absolute top dollar during this specific window. Beyond the financial cost, there is a strict physical consequence. Committing to late-night events and heavy après sessions guarantees a delayed start the following morning. You will not be making the first chair. Those delayed starts matter because of the rapid degradation of snow quality. Spring conditions mean the mountains soften early. By 10:30 a.m., the pristine grooming turns into crowded, choppy slush. Lane 2 secures peak cultural relevance and the best parties of the year, but you are directly sacrificing your morning mountain performance to achieve it. Finally, the matrix highlights our defensive strategy, Lane 3, the tactical alternator. This is the optimal route for families and anyone actively trying to avoid crowds. Your primary tactic here is targeting off-peak community programming. Instead of the massive weekend races, you aim for events like Monday Fun Day on March 23rd or the custom hat coloring at Après Art on the 26th. You also leverage alternative facilities operated by the Vail Recreation District. By utilizing places like Dobson Arena or the public library, you can keep your group entertained while bypassing the mountain-based bottleneck entirely. The emotional trade-off in this lane is acceptance. You are deliberately choosing to miss the highly visible, heavily photographed spectacles of the week. While it is definitely less culturally plugged in, stripping away the major events gives you the lowest stress pacing and the highest actual volume of movement for your trip. Analyzing these lanes is only helpful if it leads to executing a decision. The base area friction during late March is intense, but it is entirely avoidable if you maintain scheduling discipline and stick to your chosen profile. The scorecard dictates your strategy. Hardcore fans attend the alpine races, but skip midday skiing. Lifestyle optimizers secure VIP access to John Summit and afternoon parties, but skip early lifts. Families explore off-peak VRD facilities, but completely avoid the afternoon base area crush. Getting the most out of Vail during its busiest week isn't about successfully doing everything. It's about looking at the schedule, choosing your specific priorities, and unapologetically ignoring the things that aren't built for you.